Leadership is practice, not so much in words as in attitude and in actions. Harold S. Janine said that once. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Moving Forward Leadership Podcast, episode 47, monthly recap and thoughts with myself, Scott McCarthy. Hey everybody, it's Scott McCarthy, your host and founder of the Moving Forward Leadership Podcast, and welcome back. Changed things up today. Changed it up a little bit. I had this thought in my mind for a while now, and we're going to give it a go. See if you folks out there like it. But before I talk about how I'm changing things up today, I just want to talk a bit about the podcast in case today is your first day here. And regardless if it is your first day here or your 47th time here, welcome one and all to what I believe to be the best leadership podcast out there. The goal of this podcast is simple, folks. We're here to make better leaders. And that is regardless if you're in small business, big business, not-for-profit, government institution, or heck, a state-owned parent, all right? I believe we all need leadership in our lives. And that's why I'm bringing this show to you. There are just too many bosses out there today. Too many self-centered, egotistical, arrogant bosses out there. And this show will help you get around that and not become one of them, okay? If you're looking for that type of thing, go elsewhere. You're not going to find it. No, this is about leadership, about taking ownership of your organization's problems, instilling confidence and inspiration into your people within your organization, and achieving the best that you all can achieve. All right. It is not about maximizing the output of the team for your sole benefit. If you think that way, again, please turn the show off and move on because it's not for you. Today, I'm going to change things up, and we're going to do a monthly recap. And basically, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about all the episodes that I aired this past month, May 2018. This show is airing on the 30th of May, so the month's almost done. But before I dive in there, I just got a quick special announcement regarding our sponsor, Penji, Penji.co. So Penji does unlimited graphic design work for $349 per month, and they do great work. If you check out the latest and greatest artwork, banners and stuff on all my social media profiles, the one where you see both me in a suit as well as me in my military uniform in operation over in Kandahar, Afghanistan, that is the stellar work by the guys over at Penji. They were super quick on that. Great communication. I asked for a couple changes, and bam, it was done in no time flat. They're like, yep, no worries, we got it, and it was done. And all suddenly, you know what? It was going up on my social media profiles in absolutely record time. I couldn't believe it. And highly professional, highly group of guys, and easy to work with. And you know what? When you're in this business, you don't have time as leaders to be worrying about all these different little nuances in today's society and the way business gets done. Right? You just don't have time for all these graphic design things. And they do much more than just, social media profile banners. But that's just what I had them work on for me at the time. So anyway, if you are interested in checking out Penji, then swing by penji.co. The link will be in the show notes, of course. And check them out and subscribe to their services. But don't do it right away, because guess what? If you do so, if you go ahead and sign up, use the offer code MFL, as in Moving Forward Leadership, abbreviate it, 10. MFL10 gives you 10% off. So it's not $349 anymore. It's like $335 per month. Save you $35 right there. So check them out. If you sign up for services, let me know, because they're a great group of guys. Anyway, so let's talk about the episodes that aired this past month. And the first one that kicked off on the 2nd of May was the episode with Dr. Jason Brooks, where we discussed how to be a high impact leader. And reality is, for me personally, you need to be a high impact leader. That's the reason why I brought Dr. Brooks on the show. You need to be a high impact leader because you need to make a massive impact in your organization. You only have so much time in your organization as it is, right? You only have so much time. Eventually you will leave. And why would you leave without making an impact? It just doesn't sit right with me personally. So make sure, have a listen to that one if you want to learn more about how to be a high impact leader and how to make your organization more successful if you haven't listened to it already. If you have listened to it, well, feel free to swing back and listen to it again. Why not, right? But we had so much fun. He's such a great guy, so easy to talk to. You hear his southern twang with my East Coast Canadian accent there, and you might need to listen to it a couple times to make sure what we're talking about. But it was a lot of fun. And as a side note, we're actually discussing me going on his podcast that he has. So if and when that happens, I shouldn't say if, but when that happens, we just got to work at the scheduling. I will definitely be sharing the link with you all because I had so much fun with this guy. I can only imagine what round 2 would be on his show will be like. Moving on in the leadership flight path to success with Thor Conklin. This show was so good, we had to do it twice. If you haven't listened to it, the first time I recorded this show, we had a technology issue, and I had to actually can it. It should have been aired a long time ago, actually, this episode. But we had to do a redo. We had to re-record. And Thor talks about his mantra on how we achieve our goals going forward. And he does a great story about where this came out. And in the Atlanta airport and the various terminals and gates and stuff like that, and how it just came to him one day. And it's really neat, and it makes complete sense, and it's clear in your mind, when you actually listen to him. Be wary though, Thor doesn't hold any punches. He tells it how it is. He definitely he holds no punches. He tells things how it is. And you know what? We had a great time again, just like I had with Dr. Brooks, just different. A neat thing about Thor, recently he actually completed an Ironman triathlon, his first one ever at his age and going into 50s now. Well done, Thor, if you're listening to this show. Congratulations on success and keep kicking ass, man. Keep kicking ass and taking names. That's how you roll. And one other thing which you would not notice in the audio podcast because you can't see this, but in Thor's office, he has a countdown clock, and it gets set every single month. So he'll be resetting that thing in a couple days. But it shows the number of days, hours, minutes, seconds left in the month. And that's how driven he is to achieve his goals. Constantly has this clock reminding him of how much time is left before the month is gone, and you got to restart over. So, you want to learn more about how to basically achieve your goals? Swing by episode 44, which aired on the 9th of May, and listen to Thor Conklin and I talk. Moving along and talking about my sponsor for today, I actually had the co-founder of Penji on the show because they were so great and such a neat story. I had to bring Jonathan Grzybowski. Jonathan, sorry if I butcher your name, but anyway, I'm trying, man. But anyway, I brought Jonathan on the show, and we talked about, him as a leader, as an entrepreneurial leader, right? He started this company of his own, him and one other person, and they've been since building it from the ground up. And this interview actually took a really interesting twist, which I didn't expect when I lined this up with Jonathan. We talked about his background, working at Apple, and of course we talked about him developing the company, Penji, and its whole attitude internally. But it took a really interesting turn in going down the route of social responsibility. and how he's actually employing inner city kids and helping develop them and get them out of the streets and working for the company. Absolutely incredible if you think about it. And it's something we haven't even talked about yet. Truly, having a full interview with an expert at social responsibility. And that's something every leader needs to keep in the back of their mind. How they're being socially responsible for their organizations. And well, not just their organizations, but their surroundings and the environment and so on and so forth, so that we're bringing more good to the world and not just being a leech to it, because certainly there's enough of that going on right now. We're leeching the world basically dry, a friend of mine mentions. So really neat episode. Interesting twist that I didn't expect in that interview. Jonathan, again, if you're listening, thanks for coming on the show. Thank you for being a sponsor here. And thanks for what you're doing over there in Camden, New Jersey. It's great. And then the final episode of this month with Lee Kerr here and talking about leading the millennial generation. Super interesting conversation. Really neat. And it wasn't, again, I didn't expect it. It's so funny in this line of work that you line up a guest, you have an idea, you have the outline of where the questions are and what we're going to discuss. But they just take a whole, life on its own. And yes, I go through all the questions for the most part in most interviews. But the discussion is just phenomenal. And what I didn't expect to come out of this discussion was not only understanding better why, the millennial generation are doing the things that they're doing, but having a complete understanding of why entrepreneurship is so prevalent in this day and age and why millennials are leading that forge, like Jonathan Grzyboski. Imagine that. But yes, they're leading a forge. And then coupled that and reading my last book, The Rise of the Youpreneur by Chris Ducker, it all ties in. And we're in this massive period of change right now due to one of the biggest economic collapses of the century in 2008. Well, in this century being only 18 years now, definitely the biggest one of the century. But you get my point, right? In that it is incredible to see how all these issues are connected and how everything comes together, and all suddenly, boom, you have a complete generation which are being very entrepreneurial, which are completely looking, not I shouldn't say looking out for themselves, but actually looking out for others, which comes across as looking out for themselves. Work-family balance is very important to them. All these things which I, as a Xennial, is what I look at myself as, I actually agree with for the most part. So, super neat. Lee, very charismatic. Again, another great person to talk to. As you folks get, I generally don't bring in the dull, boring types. I do try to bring in the people who are experts, but not only experts, because you don't want a PhD type, which, makes you feel like you've gone back to university. You need someone that can actually explain it and you can have fun in the discussion. And I hope you all understand that. I thoroughly enjoy doing this, and I also look to have more fun doing it. So that was my interview with Lee. Again, that's episode 46, right? So just a quick recap. High Impact Leader with Dr. Jason Brooks, episode 43. Leadership Flight Path to Success with Thor Conklin, episode 44. Lessons from an Entrepreneurial Leader with Jason Grzyboski, episode 45. And then Leading the Millennial Generation with Lee Kerr, episode 46. If you haven't listened to one of those episodes yet and you are interested, just swing by the show notes. And all the episodes work the exact same way. It's movingforwardleadership.com/, and then put in the number for the episode. So in line with changing things up, I am actually going to let you know what's upcoming in the future for the next few episodes with the Moving Forward Leadership podcast. Okay. So upcoming in episode 48, what we're doing, I have a special guest, Shelley Francis, and we're actually going to be discussing courage in leadership and how we can be a more courageous leader, why it's important, and how you can instill that in yourself. The following episode 49, with Jason True. Now, Jason is a CEO, he's an entrepreneur, and we talk about how he has led his organization, and we're talking about identifying blind spots in their mindset and how we can basically replace them with making habits. Again, this is all about habit routine. So this is more along the lines of the personal realm, how you can make yourself a better leader, right? Not just how you can treat your people or take care of your people, but this is solidly towards you as the leader. And then after those two, we have episode 50. And episode 50, I've been super excited about. I love recording it because it's been long done. Actually, it's been done over a month ago now. And I've been sitting on pins and needles, waiting to release it. But super excited for it. It is 50 episodes. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Sorry. No, not telling you more. I'm going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. All right. But that is what's upcoming. So I just wanted to recap one last thing before we kind of wind her down here and just, talk a bit more about the whole social responsibility aspect, which I think is so important as leaders. Ultimately, our jobs as leaders is to make the lives of our people better each day. That's what you should be coming in to do. And if you do it in a social responsible manner within your organization, not only are you making the lives of your people better, but you're making the lives of your organization, the life of the organization better. And in turn, you're making the lives of everybody surrounding your organization and in contact with your organization better as well. So keep in mind. So with that note, like I say, kudos Jonathan again for doing what he's doing, and ask you, how is your organization being socially responsible, or are they? Feel free to let me know in any, social media stream you feel like, from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, LinkedIn, or just shoot me an email, scott@movingforwardleadership.com. All right, folks, that's all. Hope you enjoyed, the new format for once a month. I'm trying to take the mic myself once a month and just talk to you and be connected with the audience out there. Okay. So it's just going to be me once a month. We're going to do a month of recap, give you an idea of what's up and coming, and then kick it off. All right. So if you like that, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. I'm always open to feedback. All right. As a good leader should be and must be all the time. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this show, if you enjoyed the Moving Forward Leadership podcast, remember R², S². Rate and review the show because that enables it to be pushed up in the ranking system more. And by that happening, it will actually allow people to find us more. And this is about us, you and me, okay? So more people finding us, the better it gets, okay? That's the R² part. The S², subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the show, what are you doing? You heard about all the great content, which I've released in the past month, and you know what of the great content upcoming in the month. So subscribe, and you can easily do that. Go to movingforwardleadership.com/subscribe, and the various options will be there for you to simply click on, and you'll and bring you right to your favorite player or service. And from there, you can subscribe to the show. And then finally, share. If this hits home with you, or if it doesn't hit home with you, it doesn't matter, but share it with someone who you think it would hit home with. Okay? Someone who you believe is ready to develop their leadership skills to become a better leader, or share it with a boss. And I hope everybody understands what I mean by a boss. Just Google boss mimes out there, or mims, or wherever you pronounce that word. Anyway, Google it and you'll know what I'm talking about by when I say a boss. All right. And not the like a boss Google, okay? Mimes. All right. Anyway, all I say is share it with someone who you think could use this or would benefit from it. And let me know you did that, because it'd be really neat. All right, folks, that's all I got for today. As always, keep pushing, keep trying, keep moving forward. Take care now.